All optimism, baby.
All right, optimism, BPA. Optimism, big pun up at Tahoe right now. BPA just came from Tahoe. By the way, Brandon Pajewski, I think he's in Vegas right now. He's going to join us at 9:30 on the River Islands guest line. Shout out to B Pods, man. He's joining the Morning Roast today. After Kyle Anderson joined Steiny and Goo yesterday. Slow-mo, that is. Well, some good stuff from 10 to 2. But next week, don't forget, next week, our lineup is going to be jacked up. Starting on Monday, for 1 week only. 1 week only, and it's brought to you by Jack's Restaurant.
Oh,
Willard
my
and
God.
Dibs. You get to wake up with Willard and Dibs from 6 to 10. Dibs back in his old morning slot. Shasky and I from 10 to 2. And it's Steiny and Goo from 2 to 6. And you will have a chance to win an autographed Klay Thompson Golden State Warriors jersey. That's all next week, just for 1 week only. 1 week only. We will be on from 10 to 2, Shasky. We'll be able to sleep in a little bit, 10 to 2. Maybe we'll get some breaking news for once. Maybe we'll get some breaking news. Maybe we'll get that. The Warriors are traded for Lowry Marketed. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about Farhan. Talking about Farhan for a second here before we get into the receiver doc. I said during the break, Farhan's a new Trent Baalke, where he's going to last a little longer than we all wanted. Trent Baalke lasted till when? When did he get fired? After 2015 season? So when Shanahan and Lynch came in, right?
2016, I believe.
After the 2016 season?
Yeah, I think 2016.
So he lasted
much longer than
he should have. And this is where we're at with Farhan Zaidi. So in the last couple of years, he's talked about the city, how difficult it is to recruit free agents to the city because the city's so different and the idiosyncratic nature of the city, but all that nonsense where he snapped back at me last year at his end-of-season presser. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't sign free agents? We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear about the weather being cold. We want to just say, hey, you struck out on something. And now you're talking about selling again in a season where we've heard the owner say it's mandatory we make the playoffs. We've had Fulman. I asked him yesterday, with the youngsters, does your expectation change? Nope. Playoffs. Farhan telling Susan Slusser, hey, stakes are high. And now yesterday we get him talking about, we don't turn this thing around. We're going to be selling and we're going to play a lot of youngsters. He talks like a guy who's got a lot of leeway who's going to be back next season, Shasky. And that bothers me.
Here's how I judge people, right? And it's the same thing with like Trent Baalke you bring up. It's like Trent Baalke, if I would have told Niner fans in 2015, Baalke's going to go to the LA Rams, would you be like feared? Would you worry?
Oh, we'd love that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now let's do this.
Google it.
Let's do this exercise currently. Rob Pelinka is going to take over the Portland Trailblazers.
Great.
We'd be like, okay,
awesome,
like great. Like, you know what I mean? John Lynch is going to go take over the Seahawks.
Nah, I sit up and say, oh boy.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Bob Myers is going to go run the Clippers.
Yeah, we're going to raise our eyebrows and be like, ooh, okay. All right, that's something.
Brian Sabian is taking over the Colorado Rockies.
I don't really fear Colorado, but you would sit there and think, okay, they're going to have a professional baseball team.
The Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, we'd raise our eyebrows and
exactly.
say, oh boy, we better be on our P's and Q's.
Farhan takes over the Padres.
Nobody would care.
Come on.
Nobody would care.
Just do the exercise
Nobody
in your
would
brain.
care. I honestly, I think he's playing himself out. Well, never say never because Trent Baalke's running the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I never saw that coming.
I never saw that coming. He actually survived the Urban Meyer travesty. It's unbelievable.
That man has been through like 5 coaches, 6 coaches.
It's unreal. So I'm not going to say Farhan will never, ever, ever get another job again. But the fact that he's the president of baseball operations and this is the product we have in year 6. So now, if he starts selling players, think about what's going to happen in the offseason. What does that say to Matt Chapman? What does that say to Blake? Like, you know what I'm saying? What does that say to Chapman?
You have to have players people want to sell. So realistically, like just strip it down. Who are the guys? You're a team X,
right,
making a playoff push. The Yankees, the Orioles, the Phillies.
Blake Snell's number 1.
Okay, I agree. That's why I've been all over like that. Right. I would sell probably Blake Snell. He gives me 2 or 3 more good starts. Sell.
Yeah, I
get
would
anything.
I would hope that you go on a winning streak.
You gave up a draft pick to get him.
Yeah, I would hope that you go on a winning streak and you don't sell. Don't sell Snell. But with the way Farhan's talking, you may be selling Snell.
Who else?
So Snell's at the top of the list.
I agree.
I actually think Camilo Duvall's in this conversation.
Which is where I've kind of been at the last couple of years. And I'm reluctant, but...
I'm reluctant as well because how are you going to fill that hole next year? So now you got to refill a starting spot in the rotation, Camilo Duvall, and a closer. So you got a closer and a starter that you're going to have to replace. Then I guarantee you, if he's talking about selling, that means Robbie Ray's on the table. And we haven't even seen him pitch yet.
I don't know who would. I hear you.
Somebody would take a chance on Robbie Ray.
I think Chapman is probably more desired than he is.
No doubt. But somebody will see Robbie Ray. They'll get a report on what he's doing in rehab, what he's doing in AAA or whatever, wherever he's pitching at right now. They'll get it. And they'll say, you know what, we'll get this low level. Like a team like the Rays who wants to make a late push.
I'll put him down.
Or the Red Sox or whatever. Somebody will take a shot at Robbie Ray.
Okay.
They will.
Okay.
But is he more desired than Matt Chapman? No, he's not.
Okay, so I have Chapman.
But that's two starting pitchers and then Matt Chapman.
Okay.
Can you imagine telling Matt Chapman, we got to watch Casey Smith play third base the rest of the season?
Two of those guys you acquired on a one-year deal, essentially. Okay? Like, that's what you built. So, now, look, there's people are going to call in and they're like, Joe, everyone will want Bailey. Well, you're not giving up Bailey. He's very young.
Yeah,
and there are some teams around the league who do have catchers. I love Bailey. I think Bailey's a keeper. And he gets credit for that. That's his draft pick. Like, if there's one thing, that's his DeForest Buckner pick. If you're going with the Trent Baalke thing, like the one redeemable pick was the Trent, the DeForest Buckner one. Later on, like Patrick Bailey's that guy. That's sad. Like, no one wants Conforto. No one wants a platoon outfielder who can't play defense.
Somebody will take a chance on him as a lefty DH. Somebody will take a chance on him, but you're not going to get much back from him.
Too.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting him for dirt cheap.
Mike Yastrzemski has like a 400 slug and like a 380 on base. He's been horrible. I don't even know if he's 380. He might be 380 slug.
You know what? Defensively, a team that's in contention, will say, you know what? We'll kick the tires on Mike Yastrzemski. Here's a high A prospect.
He's a 220 hitting this year, 7 home run guy. But who I hear you.
Late inning replacement though.
Game defensive replacement.
And somebody would take a chance on that.
You know what
contender.
that is?
Maybe the Red Sox do that. Wouldn't that be a nice little story? Maybe the Boston Red Sox do that. Here's a high A prospect. There you go.
But they've got the guy Duran
but he could be he's not going to be started.
Late inning replacement on the bench, whatever. But that's what we're talking about here. So now you go in the next season and you got a hole in right field, you got a hole in third base, you got a hole. And you know what? I didn't even think about Wilber Flores has got to be on the block because he barely plays, but he may play a lot now because Lamont Wade Jr. Guess what? He's hurt again. So now we're back to square one with this team. Greg Johnson. I've kind of stayed away from this all season long. I've stayed away from this. But you know what? Farhan comes out with this quote, and I'm Greg Johnson. During the All-Star break, here's your pink slip. Farhan, thanks for this. We'll sell ourselves. It's time to go.
We'll sell ourselves.
We'll sell.
Have you ever? So, like, I don't know if you've ever heard this. Like, when I got my house, I don't know, 13 or 14 years ago. Whenever we got the house, right? There was all this crap left over in the basement, and you know what I said? Just give me the keys and get out of my way.
That's what you got to do.
And then you know what I got? I got a giant dumpster, and I threw it all away.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to. This is what the Giants have to do.
To your point, like, don't even touch it. Just give me the keys.
Just give me the keys and get out of here.
And I'll figure out the rest.
Get out of here. Get out of
my way.
And you know what? We see all the Klay Thompson stories coming out after the season or whatnot, and I'm not going to get far into it, but I guarantee you, when Farhan leaves, there will be think pieces about the Farhan Zaidi era and how he operated within the walls of Oracle Park, in the clubhouse, because I don't hear a lot of great things about Farhan behind the scenes. I really don't. And I haven't heard him. I haven't heard great things about Farhan for 4 years.
What does he do really, really well?
I don't know.
And don't be sarcastic.
I don't know.
Because I know people, he's good at, maneuvering platoon players and blah, blah. Like, that's done.
He's not good at running a baseball team. And that's what matters.
Exactly.
And here we go again. For the second straight season, we've got 2 starting pitchers, maybe one who could give us 6 innings, and that's Logan Webb.
When was the last time, just Giants fans, just think about this. When was the last time you were like, the Dodgers X, Y, and Z? As in, you're comparing yourself to the Dodgers. Like, as a Niner fan, what do? Hey, man, we got the Seahawks, we got the Rams, and we're comparing ourselves to those teams. We also have the Philadelphia Eagles, we've got Green Bay, like Dallas Cowboys. The Niners are constantly comparing themselves to other upper echelon teams. The Warriors, man, how are we going to compare to the Denver Nuggets? Giants fans, when have you even allowed yourself to do the mental exercise of comparing yourself to one of your division foes?
I bet you when they won 2 or 3 against the Dodgers a couple of years, think about how many Giants fans was running a victory lap for that. Yeah, saying, we beat the Dodgers 2 or 3. We're right there. We could get hot. Please.
Shasky, to answer your question, you said earlier that the Dodgers lost 4 straight to the Phillies and the Giants are still 10 back. I'm not even thinking about how far back in the division the Giants are.
That's my point.
I've never even thought about the Giants being division contenders because the Dodgers are in a complete different reality than the Giants are in.
Okay, but if you're following along, The Dodgers have no pitching, and their best player has been out for weeks.
Yep.
Like, if ever there was a time you would kind of like look around and pay attention. If Stafford was out a month, okay, and they were missing 15 freaking players, we'd be like, you got to catch the Rams. Like, that's how far we fall. We can't even look at the Dodgers.
This is the worst thing that happened to the Giants right now, though. But hold on, the Dodgers struggling right now is the worst thing that happened to the Giants. Because guess what? The Dodgers are loading up to go get some boys.
Well,
they're going to be loading up for the trade deadline. They are buyers. So this slump is happening at the right time for them. They will buy, and they'll be right back in business with the Philadelphia Phillies. Trust that. While the Giants, and we got Farhan Zaidi talking about selling if we don't turn things around. Just completely threw the team under the bus. These are his groceries. He went to go shop for these groceries. He went to Costco wholesale and bought about 8 boxes full of groceries. This is your dinner. You cooked this dinner.
Bonte, I can't be mad at my son when I give him a marker and he draws all over the room.
Right.
Don't be mad.
Draws all over his face.
When you're playing Conforto and Yastrzemski and you don't have a shortstop.
Unbelievable.
And you got Wilmer Flores in the lineup. Like, what did you expect was going to happen?
Man. All right, more coming up.